myself the entire time.
Exactly.
And now I'm going to come over and listen to my shit.
Oh, hello. Hi, what's up, Buyo? Oh, Buyo's here. What's up, Buyo? Listen, I wore the correct shirt today, hey, for Commentators Curse. I got the song. Because it's marks on me.
It's a curse. Right, well, hello, viewer. Welcome. And I am Carl Lawrence.
Greg Maloney, the voice of choice.
And this is Commentators Curse. It is our first ever episode. It's the first time we've sat down together.
Established in 2025, but we're only kicking off in 2026 because certain people were overseas doing international karting events and didn't bring their friends along for the ride. But when I do commentary gigs, who gets the gig? You know what I'm saying? But anyway, we're not going to go there.
It's not like I'm a big boy there, let's be honest.
This it is. I mean, did you see the job he did? It's an incredible job. No,
Thank you, Greg.
Amazing job there. But
like, I want to talk, Greg, like we said in the intro, we were just going to do an intro and that's it and go to our first episode. But I think it's important that we tell our viewers, you guys, because you guys are important, why it is we decided to do this and what it came up with. So for me, and this is from my side, I was always trying to be a racing driver. I'm still trying to be a racing driver. I'm 35 years old and still trying.
Yeah.
But that Solidarity e-race thing came up. You had always brought me in as like your tech advisor on a karting thing or on a, I think it was with Jan that we did that.
Yeah, with Jan, yeah.
And you always brought me on as like the tech guy. Okay, which you've had a few, the cutter.
Yeah.
And it became a consistent thing and I was there a few times and you were always quite, I want to say a mentor. You helped me along with the task at hand of being a commentator. Mm-hmm. But it was never a career choice for me. It was never something I wanted to do full time. It was never something I thought I could actually do as a job. Then that Solidarity thing came up, that Commentators Search, which I did with you.
Yeah.
And you told me I should do it. You got me involved and I did it. And I think, I don't know if I finished second.
Second, yeah.
Second. Did I finish second? I finished second in that thing. And that's when I went, actually, you know what? Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do this as opposed to being a racing driver, which I'm still pushing to try and do, which, you know, maybe I get a fun drive here and there and a free drive. It's not going to be on the level of Jordan, Calvin, and Sheldon, but it's going to be something that I'll still drive something. Mm-hmm. And I give back to my sport by coaching. But to me, it became something like, hey, I could actually do this as a career.
Yeah.
Then I went to the Road Track Grand Finals in Bahrain in 2023. And I bumped into Henry and I had my Welsh tattoo and I went, you know what? I've just done that thing with Greg. Greg says I'm good enough to do this. Greg is the best in the industry at the moment at home. So I put myself out there and I went, Henry, I'm coming for your job. I'm a Welshman. There's the Welsh tattoo. I showed him this and I'm like, you're a Welshman. I'm a Welshman, but I'm coming for your job. And he went, oh, really? You think you can? Come do Mini-Max. And like from there, the ball kind of started rolling and a bit snowballed. And that was 2023. Mm-hmm. And I raced in 23, did quite a while. 24, I got invited back. And I was like, oh man,
let's do this.
Let's do this. And you get there and like you feel like a bit of a hero because it's an international event. And then you get off a plane back home and you're just an asshole again.
You just welcome back to South African motorsport.
Yeah, and you're like,
where no one cares about you.
Right?
You know?
Can't find work. I remember that first, and I went to Swakopmund.
Dude, we're sitting on what are we on? The 7th of January.
Yes.
January. You know, the first bit of work comes in. 31st of January.
Are you booked in?
What are we doing for the whole of December, the whole of January? You know what I'm saying? There's nothing happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough position to be in. And of course, I'm going into 30 years of this now, but I've done this for 30 years.
And that's why I thought, like, well, if there is no platform for me to carry this on at home, because it comes across arrogant, I'm not going to be arrogant. I can go overseas and do it. Mm. I don't want to. I'm a South African, I want to be in South Africa. So how do I create a platform where this is actually something that we can do that then earns for us, and then we can also give back to the South African community? So that was what Commentators Curse is. And when I came to Derek with the idea, initially, it was just going to be me. And I was like, it can't just be me. Because I'm new. I'm the new boy. I'm the youngster. I'm coming through. It can't just be me. I don't have that experience. And your name was the first name that came up. Yeah. And you and I talk off air a lot about what you've done in motorsport. And I don't think a lot of people in the country know what you've done. So like in our first episode, I just want to tell everybody like who Greg Maloney is and who Carl Lawrence is. That is my vibe.
Okay.
So 30 years, you've done 30 years. Where did it start?
30 years, it started with me finishing and winning South African mountain biking downhill championship in 1997 and going to the World Cup and racing the World Cup in Stellenbosch for 2 years, going to the Mountain Bike World Championships and deciding, right, I'm done with mountain biking, I want to go racing. And my dad was involved, of course, from Westbank's point of view. He was the man who put the deal together for the Westbank Modified Saloons. In 1984, they sat around a head office boardroom table, had a cup of tea and signed a 50,000 Rand deal that secured Westbank's first sponsorship in motorsport. by the time I got to the end of my racing career and on two wheels on BMX and downhill, I decided, well, that's maybe the next best thing is to get into a car. My dad said, "Oh, you mad? I don't have money for a car. Go and speak to Roger." Roger, of course, is Roger McCleary, was the voice of South African motorsport, still is in my opinion. Even at 90 years of age, he turned 90 last year. He's still got such an incredible amount of experience, amount of knowledge that he has. The experience that comes with that and the knowledge that he's got has come from the interaction he's had with international, local, club, everything. He's done basically everything, same as what I have. And in doing that, I literally walked into Kyle Army the one day. He said to me, "Oh, we'll see you tomorrow. Come and join me." He handed me a piece of paper because at that stage there were there were no timing monitors. By the way, so he had no timing monitor. He had none of these things. Okay, and a piece of paper was the qualifying grid for South African production cars. They lined up on the grid, and of course in those days they didn't wrap the cars. They actually spray painted. So half the cars weren't spray painted as per usual because they were never ready for the first race. So there were 12 Class A production cars at that stage, and all of them were white. And as the lights went on, the rain came down at Kyle Army, and Rog went, "There's the mic, see you later," and walked out the door. And I was like, this is going to be fun, because I've got to hold the commentary from the grid through Crowthorne, through Yuxkay, through Barbecue, and hand over to the commentary team that are in the tower at Goodyear, at Sunset. They would then hold it all the way through until they brought it back into the bowl, and then from the bowl they'd pass it back to me. And of course that was before the new change. That was the old Kyle Army as opposed to the new Kyle Army. So I've been through 2 Kyle Armies. I've actually been through 3 Kyle Armies now. And that was my first experience. But by May of the same year, I was doing World Superbikes at Kyle Army. So I've done World Superbikes, I've done international touring cars, I've done international super trucks, I've done MotoGP at Bekisa for 5 years, I've done Isle of Man 4 times, I've basically done every single national championship in the country, whether it be off-road, karting, motocross, supermoto. In my career as a commentator, the best part about it, and it's the most thrilling part about my career, is that I got to fulfill my dream of being a racing driver and a racing rider, because in every single category I've commentated on, I've always had an opportunity where somebody went, "Don't you want to come and have a drive?"
Yeah.
And I've taken that up with
both hands,
both feet, anything I can, holding the steering wheel with my teeth sometimes. That was on Ian Pepper's car when I rolled it. But the bottom line is, I have raced every format of motorsport in this country in my 30 years of commentary. Had I gone racing like I wanted to,
you would have raced one.
I probably would have raced one, ran out of budget, and decided to throw the towel in and never done what I've done.
Yeah.
So that's where I come from in terms of my commentary side of things. I have had some close calls. I have had an incredible opportunity to race for a semi-factory team as well. I wouldn't say I was full factory, but I was a dealer team with West Rand Honda. Suzuki, of course, have been with me now for 30 years. And they joined me literally at the start of my career. So 2000, they jumped in, and well, not 26 years, I should say, but it feels like 30 because they were there before. The relationship I built up with Steve Swanepoel, and then of course through the rest of the crowd that are there, even all the way through now to Stewie Baker and Yvonne. And of course with that, doors have opened, opportunities have opened, and that's where we've gone. So from a racing career point of view, I was second in the national championship production cars in my mini with G&H Transport. That's my biggest accolade. And I've done 4 24-hour races on a motorcycle on my own for a charity. So from a 2-wheel side, 4-wheel side, I've been there, done that. Got the T-shirt. There it is.
Yeah, there's the T-shirt. Parental advisory.
Yeah, parental advisory reserved.
That's also why we put the curse here, because I don't want this just to be a PC suit and tie.
No, bullshit.
Exactly. I'm tired of bullshit. It needs to be real. It needs to be the nitty gritty, the stuff that everybody talks about in the paddock.
Yeah, the guys that walk down the paddock
to light.
Listen, did you hear about this thing?
Yeah. Did you hear about that guy?
We're gonna talk about that.
Look, we'll keep the marital affairs and stuff out of it.
Yeah.
Whether it's talk motorsport.
Whether it's wives or cousins weekend, we won't go into it. Okay.
We know motorsport can be funny.
But listen, from your side, you've also had a pretty spectacular career. I mean, I would say, and I know sort of the background knowledge, having been your mate for the last 20 odd years, and seeing you race, and then talked about you in racing, and then eventually got you behind a microphone.
The big man.
I think motorsport may have saved you at some point, my bud.
Yeah, look, it's something I wanted to bring up, and it's something that I want to talk about because there is so much positivity when it comes through motorsport. And it is it's the first time I'm going to be talking about this to anybody outside of my family and my friends. And I kept it very well hidden throughout my career and throughout my life, but a lot of people know the ins and outs. I don't say it a lot, and I wanted to say it out on air and live. Motorsport saved my life. And that's why when the racing had stopped and there is no racing, I want to give back to our sport by putting my voice to it and getting involved in the commentary. But yeah, that's kind of the negative side of the story. But I have had great things. I haven't won a national championship, but I've had lots of second places. I've been to the World Finals twice as a driver, 3 times as a mechanic.
Twice. 3 times as a commentator.
Twice as a commentator.
No.
The first one doesn't count.
It
I was
does.
a guest.
It does.
It was a
no,
guest.
No, it does.
So that is my balance in motorsport. But I started in 1995, raced cadets, raced karts all the way through to 2007. Worked for Piazza Motorsport in the sales department. Worked for teams, and in 2012 I started my first team, K2 Motorsport. I've had drivers like Luke Hill come through. I've now got Brody Cooper Darling, Emma Darling. I've had the Masons, Maddox and Mateo. I've had some really great drivers come through my ranks and go into bigger, better things. And just to be able to coach them and help them with their karting, with their motorsport. And the greatest thing, man, it's weird. Like, I've won many races in my life. Many. And like 125 GPs, DD2 Masters, done it. And I'm still doing it. I come into a GP every now and again and I still go win a GP race, but as a master, because I go trophy hunting. I won't go race those kids. I don't get the enjoyment out of winning. But to see an 11-year-old kid that you've taken from 6th or 7th on the grid, and the first person they want to hug, and I'm going to send you a video to put into this B-reel of Luke Hill getting out of his cart and giving me a massive hug, or Keegan Martin when he won his first African Open with me. That feeling, is next to nothing compared in any form, and that's also why I want to make this Commentators Curse. Like, let's show the heroes of the sport. Let's show the 100%. Hard work, the parents, the dads,
people
the moms.
behind the scenes, what happens in the families, etc., etc. I mean, you're talking about substance abuse and drug abuse, etc. A lot of people don't realize the struggle that I've had in the sport. You know? A lot of people don't see that the voice behind, or the face behind the voice is a happy one all the time. It hasn't been a happy one all the time. I got the incredible opportunity to take over my dad's role at Westbank as the motorsport manager for 5 years. That's where I met my beautiful wife, and unfortunately it also cost me my marriage, my previous marriage. So motorsport has been kind, it's been cruel. After leaving the bank and being accused of fraudulent activities, despite the fact that my dad is a gold member of Westbank, I don't understand how that works. But in the space of me being fired from the dream job as Westbank's motorsport manager, I still had the ability to continue with the project that we put together and ran the very first ever street race in Soweto.
Oh, I remember that. That was unbelievable.
And, with that happening at the same time, me going through my divorce and taking nearly 10 years to come out of the debt that came from, not from the divorce, but from leaving the job and having a rock and roll, big figure number that you could play around with every month.
To not having that anymore.
To nothing, and putting myself into credit card debts, and them coming to fetch. You spoke about your house. They nearly came to take the house, but they took the car.
Yeah.
They took everything. And I had to rebuild myself. And that was the start of the journey of the Voice of Choice. My previous...
I can't believe that was 10 years ago.
My previous teammate and friend for nearly 30 years, who's now gone on to his own career, was staying with me. Matt spent nearly the first 10 years of his life in my own house. We looked after him. He looked after us. He moved on. He's moved on to do his own thing now as well. But his initial start in his career in this country came via me opening up an opportunity for him to be here and to do exactly what we do on a commentary point of view, to look after some of the athletes I had, because I was running some of the athletes as their PR and social media managers at that point in time, just to try and make the ends meet.
Yeah.
You had to go with what the flow was. And coming from that big figure that Westbank was paying me on a monthly basis to having absolutely nothing, we hustled. And let me tell you, the hustle was horrible, because, as I said, it cost me my first marriage. It got me my beautiful wife that I have now. And of course, I've got my daughter now joining me in the ranks of potentially social media and some commentary as well on the Polo Rookie Cup. So, it's it's not all bells and whistles and roses in this world. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult.
I just think without motorsport, I don't think we would have pulled ourselves out of it as
sure.
easily and I wouldn't say easily, but as we did.
That's exactly the thing. You spoke about the fact that it saved you. Motorsport broke me, but I wasn't going to let it break me, and I was going to show it the way
it should be,
and how it should be done. And I've tried to as much as possible to do that in terms of my ability behind the mic. My ability as a presenter, as an MC, and it's one of the reasons why I think some of the international events have looked at me as an option. I think it's also the relationships that I've built. You spoke about the relationships with the drivers that you've had, and the fact that they jump out, and the first person they want to come and hug is you.
Yeah.
I go back to what was it? To the sort of mid 2000s or whatever it was. I can't remember the exact date, but it was the first time that we ever had a non-white South African motorcycle champion in Arushan Mudley. And as he climbed off the motorcycle and I handed him the microphone to do his interview as the first man of color to win a superbike championship, he handed me his helmet. And I've still got that helmet in my collection in my garage, and I've got Ian Pepper's helmet, I've got Robbie Peterson's helmet, I've got Maloney's helmet, I've got Rossi's helmet, I've got fortunately, I don't have it anymore, but I had Colin Edwards' helmet. It was stolen out of my house, which was a big loss for me. But those are the relationships that I've built up, and it's not only on the local scene. It's not only the fact that I can call out to whoever I need to in the businesses. My car breaks down. Okay, I'll go to Grand Rapids and have the service. Yeah. But I'm not asking it for free. I'm just asking for a better rate because the brotherhood is there.
We know each other.
The family is there.
And 9 times out of 10, you'll go there expecting to pay full price. Like I've never gone somewhere and expect to pay. And 9 times out of 10, you'll be like, "Am I invoice? No, off you go."
No, exactly.
Like the community that is.
I'm not asking for that freebie. But the same thing works in the relationships that we've built up, and mine come from even longer than the 30 years I've been behind the microphone. When I was still racing, I've nurtured those relationships. I've kept relationships that I had with sponsors, with partners, etc., that have boded well for me throughout my career. And with that, it's a case of that you can pick up that phone, you can make that call. If I need to bring somebody in for Commentators Curse, hey, Jordan Pepper, are you available?
Yeah.
I know you're running around on the golf course trying to beat.
But can you pop in, please?
Can you just pop in and come see me? So that we can talk about the nitty gritty of your career, or Leighton Free. I want to make sure that we get all this. Some of the youngsters that are starting to make their into international motorsport. I want to bring in the fact that we've got the top echelon of motorsport being covered by those types of drivers, the Van der Lindes, the Binders.
Yes.
Those are the kind of guys.
The guys that have gone and done it, the Euros, the big boys, yeah.
But I want to hear the stories that they don't go and do the PC side of things. That's the reason I decided that when you came to me with this concept and said, this is it, that part there is the most important part.
Yeah.
It's the curse of motorsport. And the curse of motorsport is it can make or break you, as both of us have just experienced and have experienced through our careers. Or it can also be a case of breaking you completely. The bank. Yeah. Your dad ran out of money. How much money has Trevor and Mrs. B spent on the boys to get them to MotoGP to where they are now? I know that it's close to
the hardships, the push,
25 million rands worth of money that they've had to put into investing into their boys to get them to where they are right now. That's where I want to go with this. That's where I think you are looking to go with this as well, is to find those not the background stories, because everybody knows the background stories, but it's the things that might not be
the hardship of it as well,
and the politically correct way of going. Yes, and I'd just like to thank my sponsors and my mom and dad and my 7th grade ballet teacher. No, bullshit. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want to know, how much did you cuck off to be there?
Which is exactly why I said in this first intro, let's because guys, please don't worry. This is not always going to be. We're going to laugh. We're going to have fun. We are going to enjoy it. But I think it is important to people, especially those that don't know motorsport, because those that do know motorsport and love motorsport aren't getting enough content, aren't getting enough information, aren't seeing enough about South African motorsport, and we need.
Or it's being done badly.
Or it's being done terribly, like on a level that is not, and you've experienced an international level, I've experienced an international level. We are so far away from it, it's scary. Like there are a few things that are doing well, but we need to now push that level up. Yeah. And the one thing I've noticed, and I've spoken to a lot of people, is that if you go look at any other motorsport community around the world, it's not, he's doing this, let me break him down. It's he's doing this, let me follow up. He's doing this,
he's setting the bar.
Follow up. The bar is being said, let's match the bar. Instead of trying to take the guy's bar down, let's make the bar. Let's go up together. Let's bring each other through. Like, even this commentator's curse, it could be a Greg versus Carl. I'm the youngster coming through and I'm trying to steal your thunder. Instead of that, though, I'm the youngster who's learned from you. You've brought me into this industry. I still have a lot to learn. I know I have a lot to learn. So when I raise the bar and you come with me, I learn from you. You raise the bar and I go with you as well.
Henry, did you hear that?
Henry, yeah. Sorry.
I am available, okay?
Yeah, so if we, if
Portimao. He didn't even know it was in Portimao, by the way.
I said Algarve.
Yeah.
Same place.
Same place. Somewhere in Portugal.
Somewhere in Portugal. It's a pretty cool circuit. I've actually been there with Champions of the Future. But anyway, the point is that if we all step up together, all we do is make South African motorsport better. I'm tired of this, but he's doing that because of this, or he's doing that because of this. Well, I can't win because of that. I'm tired of that conversation.
You've got a slightly easier job in terms of what I have, and I say this tongue in cheek as well with this, because I've seen what you've done with some of these young karters, and I've seen what you've done and where they've gone, and it's an incredible coup to you. But I had Rob with me for a while. Matt and I will still stand by, despite what he thinks of me, and I don't know what the issue was there that ever ended, whatever happened, but there was no one better in this country, and I would say at one point in our career, there was no one better in the world than Matt and I on a commentary.
Yeah, as a team, yeah.
As a team. But on a similar vein, we are exceptionally good together as well on the karting side, and we're starting to get into the circuit side. Rob was very good on motorbikes with me, and I spent a lot of time with Gugazulu as well, the late great. God rest his soul. But people don't realize, I say there's a play on words here, commentator's curse, and the commentator's curse is normally when a commentator fucks up.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's where you go.
Which I had 3 of, had my last
coming. I can't do a world championship event at Carousel with Supermoto, and Cindy Porobik is coming up the inside of Michael Koch, or Michael Koch's coming up the inside of, or Cocky's coming up the inside of Porobik. Those are the kind of things that I throw in there. And they've gone completely, and that's the commentator's curse.
Yes.
Or it's the fact that you say, that this is going to happen, but and if it is, and as soon as you say it, it happens.
Boom, it happens, yeah.
So yeah, that's the play on words from the commentator's curse point of view. But there's also the commentator's role. And from my side of things, being the voice of choice and how I've badged myself over the last probably 15 years as opposed to my full career, is to try and nurture and to bring the likes of yourself, the Robs, the Matts. I've tried with several other, probably a dozen other people, and they all think it's real easy. Here's the microphone, and there's the television, and there's the people standing in front of me, and let's make the crowd happy.
It isn't.
Okay, well, I'm not going to say that because you can.
And I've done that. Like I say this to everybody, I've done every possible job there is in karting. I've done, from a scale marshal to now a commentator. I've done it all. Mechanic, driver, all of it. And Henry Baudet is known now as the voice of Rotax. You switch on a Rotax event anywhere in the world except for South Africa, and I don't understand why except for South Africa, but anywhere in the world.
It's because I get a chance to have some fun.
Yeah, but Henry should be there with you.
It would be great if Henry could be there.
He's the Rotax name.
Well, if Henry can come to here and then give me a little visa, I can go with him.
Jane and Nick.
Yeah. Irish
anyway.
and Irish. Remember the Welsh are the Irish that learned to swim, eh? Remember that, eh? Okay, so yeah. So there we go.
So we are going to have Henry on here as well, by the way, guys. I'm going to get him to come on. We're going to have a lot of other drivers as well. But the opportunities I've gotten out of motorsport, I've lost my point now, Greg. You can't do that with someone.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
What was I talking about? Remind me what I was talking about?
I can't remember. We'll go back on the reel.
What was I talking about?
Fio doesn't even know. Don't worry, it'll come to you.
Listening instead of telling us how much time we got left. God damn.
So there we go. So,
anyway, the point I was trying to make
yes,
is not there anymore. It's gone.
Don't worry about it. It'll come back to you.
I hope so.
When it comes back to you,
the job is hard.
The job.
Right, and what Henry told me, and I've kept this. See how hard the job is. What Henry's instilled in me from day one is we're storytellers.
Yeah.
We're telling a story and we're the narrators. So whatever narrative we want to go out is what's going to go out. We can change the narrative of any potential problem happening.
Yeah.
And it's so important that we do that job in a way that is in a positive step forward and a way that either only improves the sport. It cannot be something that goes, and Matt has gone overseas to Dakar, and I'm glad that there's a South African there. I really am. But this is an art form that requires constant work, and it needs to be done properly. And if we don't do it properly, if that goes wrong for him, and I'm not saying it will, and I'm not saying I haven't watched a lot of what he's done, but if that goes wrong on a world stage, even for me, if it goes wrong for me at the next world final and I do something stupid, I didn't just do it as Carl Lawrence. I did it as the South African Carl Lawrence. Because how many South Africans are doing what we do on a world stage?
Yeah.
So it's a massive responsibility on your shoulders to get right. And this commentator's curse could be one way or the other. Like we could go.
No, it could.
You know, like we're putting our balls in the line here.
We could be going, hey, well, this is Greg and Carl. Or, by the way, this is Greg and Carl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, never can work again, and this is all we have.
But exactly the point that you're raising is a valid one, because I mean the amount of international stuff I've done in my career, and I thought that the door's going to open. You know, MotoGP was a good possibility.
Yeah,
After 5 years at Pakistan, and the live commentary that we did there, Supersport didn't even look at me. You know.
Yeah.
But 6 months later, when Sasha was not available and couldn't do the link to the F1 that he used to do as the Mr. Formula One in South Africa, who do they call on? Greg. Diesel used to do.
Yeah.
And I had to do a full commentary of the Formula 2 race before I even did the link to F1. I don't follow Formula 1 that much.
Yeah.
I follow it, and I know what was happening. In those days, fortunately, it was still a driver that I could relate to in terms of my fan.
Your fandom, yeah.
No, my fandom for Shimmy. I love Shimmy. But the bottom line was, it was like, okay, we'll jump in. But I'm a commentator, so I could jump in. I have the skill set to jump in on any form of commentary that you need me to do. As an MC, I can do the same thing. If you want to put me on extreme sport, I can MC extreme sport. If you want to chuck me into a mountain bike downhill race, that's my forte. If you want to put me onto BMX Supercross, I can do that. Motocross, Supercross, Supermoto, you name it. Extreme sports. I did a world championship snowboard and ski jump event in December on Bloberg Strand with 35 degrees Celsius. They put snow on Bloberg Strand. Vodacom brought me on as the MC.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the skill set is there. The skill set I'd like to try and portray on terms of Commentators Curse is that we don't want to hold back.
No.
We don't want to be talking about stuff that's not relative. We want to be talking about the stuff that's relative. We want to be speaking about the fact that there is a political game involved in motorsport,
which
on all aspects of every level.
And you and I both know it's hurting the sport, which is why I think we need to talk about it, because there are those that are doing such great things for South African motorsport.
No,
and there's more of them than there aren't.
100%.
But there is a small crowd, and it's in every single portion of South African motorsports.
It's in every sport, but never mind South African motorsport.
Sure.
It's in every single sport in South Africa, and it's a South Africanism.
It's a South Africanism. I think that the ego of a South African is a little bit cool. You see it in rugby as well. We're dominating there though, but there's an ego involved in, and I think it's because of the money. Honestly, and I've had this conversation with Nick Verheul, who I also want to bring on. He's starting a new thing to grow karting. And he kind of hit the nail on the head, saying everybody sees what kind of money, in inverted commas, someone is making or series is making, and they think they can do it better and make more. And every time that happens, the only people that get hurt are the competitors.
Dilutes the sport.
It dilutes the sport and it hurts the competitors.
We sit with a situation where, in my opinion, we're oversaturated in terms of motorsport on a circuit racing point of view. We've got political unrest in karting, we've got political unrest in motocross, we've got political unrest in off-road, and yet we still provide some of the best motorcycle racing and drivers in the world, and they go off to international duties and do what they need to do, and they make South Africa look phenomenal. But the bottom line is that the people are... I hate talking politics. You mentioned politics. But I hate talking politics and religion.
I don't love it either.
But I'm going to bring in one point that I feel is... having studied for 6 years, because I had to do 6 years because of my racing, and I couldn't do a teacher's degree in 4 like normally everybody else could, because I was spending too much. It
explains how I got so good.
9 years of it before I got into anything that looked like motorsport in my career. But from a teaching point of view, one of my subjects was history. And of course, in history, they teach you all about, how things work behind the scenes, what happens, why there was so much hoo-ha about World War II, and what happened with the Nazis, and what happened with this and whatever. The same thing applies to today. We sit in a situation where we are watching South Africa potentially on the verge of greatness, in my opinion.
For sure.
But there is still that political unrest that sits there.
Yeah.
The political unrest that sits there is unfortunately due to the smoke and mirrors that happens when the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
So when the shit hits the fan, we never see what it is.
Yeah.
It gets hidden by something else, like load shedding. What the hell is that all about?
But
there is no point in raising that. But however, load shedding is the prime example that gets thrown out there. So everybody's worried about load shedding, and with load shedding comes, okay, I've got no power, I can't work, I can't do this, I can't do that. Meanwhile, that's not the problem. The problem is what's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And no one knows about that because
the smoke and mirrors.
There it is. It's load shedding. So load shedding gets put up onto the screen and everybody else gets to worry about it. Then load shedding ends. Okay. Oh, no, that's such a brilliant. The government's amazing. But we've got no water. Okay, so now what's happening? So now problem A has been covered by load shedding. Problem B is now going to be covered by lack of water, whatever it is.
Yeah.
The same thing applies in motorsport.
100%.
The same thing applies in sport. Okay. As soon as the shit hits the fan,
Yes.
no, we'll cover it up and we won't talk about it. No, we're going to talk about it.
I mean, there's a couple of things that, like, I mean, it goes to the
That is what
Bishop.
we're gonna do.
It goes to the Aggie Racing Bishop argument. Like, there was a lot of cover up, this, that, not. But why are we not just saying this is what happened? This is the exact fact from the ASN or from whoever it is that runs the series. Here are the exact facts. Do with them what you will.
Yeah. And take it from there. Take it from there and say, right, do we build on it?
If you have to say sorry, say sorry. If
Say
you don't,
sorry,
you don't.
play on. That's all it says, you know?
Yeah.
It's a case of, I hate the word to say sorry because no one ever really means a sorry when they say sorry, but say sorry and move on.
Yeah, and in the same vein, we've got a company that has produced race cars that have gone to a country where that brand is from.
And that country...
PVW.
Yeah, that country and AE, the mother group for Volkswagen,
Yes,
or AG or whatever they're called, that are the owners of Porsche, Lamborghini, Seat, all the other big brands, Audi, are not promoting motorsport in their own country. There is no promotion of motorsport by those brands in their own country. Okay, Audi, yes, are involved in DTM, but Volkswagen itself does not have any aspect of motorsport. Now, that South Africa
change.
Yeah, they come to South Africa and they go and buy 30 Super Cup polos and send them overseas and chuck a lady driver into it from South Africa that's going to do, I think, a pretty good job.
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
But that's how the whole political unrest unfolds. And I'm like, we can get into this and we're going to get into it.
We're going to get into
this, yeah. It's the same deal with A1 Grand Prix. A1 Grand Prix was amazing.
We need to get into talk to him.
We had
what was the name?
4 drivers. We had 4 drivers that were involved there. They were incredible. And we had such a great opportunity, but that was all an oil deal. The bottom line there was, all an oil deal. How much do you want from us as Saudi or whatever it is?
I speak to drivers at Ice Jam. I had a youngster come to me in my Tillerson T4 Academy. He's like, I want to make F1. I'm like, I'm going to be dead honest with you, bud. It's a long shot. And in fact, I think it's probably a 0% chance. Like, it's a negative number.
Yeah.
But you want to go race a GD3 car, find enough sponsors.
There's another different story. And
go buy yourself a drive. And he went, what do you mean you can buy yourself a seat? And I was like, that's how motorsport works. Yes. Motorsport is a business and you can buy yourself a seat.
Yeah.
Everybody assumes that when you make it a Formula 2, you're a paid driver. Or when you make it a Formula 3, you're a paid driver. I don't even think the full grid of Formula 1 drivers are paid drivers.
Yeah, I think there's
only
one.
To be fair.
I think there's only one, and that's Lewis.
So you're not getting paid until you reach the top echelon. And I don't think a lot of youngsters understand that. And like, I don't want to kill dreams, but I want to explain that it is possible, but there's a route to
I don't want you to explain it. I want to explain. I want the guy that's been there.
Yes.
I want the Jordan Pepper. I want the Calvin van der Linde. Yes. I want the Brad Binder. I want Rob Portman.
Yeah.
Say, listen, I ran a very successful magazine here. Why has Rob left the country? What's the reason for it? I want, you name it. If you want anybody, do us a favor. Send us a comment and say, listen, we'd like you to get hold of driver A or rider X and bring them in and let's find out why they did what they did. I'd like to have a chat to, and I'm going to throw it out there. I'd like to bring Sasha Martinengo in here.
Oh, definitely.
And say to him, listen, you were Mr. F1. You were 5FM's top DJ.
And then you
made one mistake on air and you're gone. But now you've been the voice of Hill Climb for the last 4 years and you're back on 102.7 hot.
What's happening?
Changed?
What's going forward?
How did that and he's not even involved in motorsport anymore. He's now the only official paddle coach in the country. He's coaching people how to play paddle. The next big thing.
How's that for a switcher? So Sasha, we'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll give you a call.
Get in touch with us. We'll let you know. We know you want to be here. But Greg, you're the voice of the choice. You know how best to summarize Commentators Curse.
Guys, Commentators Curse is basically a platform for us to bring you the behind the scenes, the nitty gritty, the no bullshit stories about motorsport in this country. We're not going to hold back. We are going to get down to the finer details of the behind the scenes action that happens and on an international level, on a national level, at a club level, at whatever level you want us to bring us in. We're going to cover all echelons of motorsport. We may even bring in other sports as well. It's the opportunity is there because commentators don't only talk about driving around racetracks.
No, we commentate on many things.
Do other things. But
I'm definitely not doing a
that's
test
the
match
plan.
cricket, though.
So we hope that you're going to enjoy this platform. This is the first show. We've got our first, of course, man who's going to join us in a few days' time on the next part 2, and that'll be Jordan Pepper. So we're going to kick right into it. We're going to literally get straight into what you need to do as a young driver, and it's all social media based. We're hopefully one day one of those big channels like, what are they called, show TV or.
No, look, someone's going to pick this up and put us on something. Come
Net DSTV or Net something.
Exactly.
We might have a net value, you know.
I mean, we
I don't
might
know.
sound good, but we also look good as well. So you guys can
The
put
bottom
us on
line
anything.
is if a guy like, what's his name, McAfee can jump onto ESPN and be there for 500 years and have a studio
Why
set
can't
up.
we?
Why can't we?
So BBC, if you're watching.
No, he's got a connection to BBC. ITV, I've got a connection there too. Maybe they'll pick up on something. Anyway, the bottom line here is it doesn't matter where it goes out. As long as you guys are enjoying the content, please let us know. Constructive criticism is always welcome as well. If you don't like what we're doing, well, we don't give a shit. So that's Commentators Curse. We'll see you soon. Take care then. Bye-bye now.